guys, and welcome back for another Conqueror's Blade video. This video is going to be a guide for the different types of units there are in the game, how to unlock seasonal units, and what is the meta right now and what's fun about that. So first, if you want to press U, you go to your unit tree. These are the units that I've unlocked throughout this time frame. They're going to be here on your barracks: the melee infantry, ranged, cavalry. Over here is going to be how you set up your units, be able to choose which ones you like. And that's all based off of leadership. Each unit is going to have a different amount of leadership, and each one's going to cost more or less to be able to bring into battle. Basically, the farther to the right they are, the more they are likely to unlock. So here's going to be the melee screen. It's going to show you the melee infantry. And I'm going to go over the different types of units I would highly recommend unlocking. The first one, which is almost a guarantee you should always try and go for, is going to be the Imperial Pike Guards. They've got a great pike walk that makes sure that any enemy in front of them is going to get knocked to the ground, and it's basically the best pushing and defensive unit, as well as great against cavalry. They're going to cross 240 leadership. I always highly recommend the village Watchmen. They're 30 leadership, and they also have a spear instead of a sword, so they definitely beat other low-level units, and these are basically your expendable units, the one to push the towers, take the objectives, the bread and butter of the beginning of every game. The most underrated unit I think there is in this game is called Pike Militia. 110 leadership. They are by far the strongest unit for their leadership level. They have the 3 different formations, as well as the ability to brace, and they will definitely hold their own more than most people would ever believe they are capable of doing. Next, if you'd like to unlock some type of Javelins units, the Javelin Sergeants are going to be the better ones for the ranged throwing the Javelins. They get about 4 or 5 throws, and they have abilities called a double throw, where they'll be able to throw 2 Javelins compared to the 1. They're definitely the better for the ranged, and they cost 230 leadership. The next would be Imperial Javelineers. These are 240 leadership, and they're more of the melee fighters in a mix of the javelin throws. They're not the strongest Javelineers, and they're definitely not the best infantry either, but they've got a balance of both, compared to whereas the Javelin Sergeants are mainly and almost only ever used for just the throwing of the javelins. Those would be the highly recommended units for the melee infantry for battling. Of course, you always want to unlock the serfs. The serfs are going to be something that's going to very much help you collect the outside resources at a higher rate than every other unit, and that's going to help you get your bonus equipment. When you go to the ranged, some people like the Vassal Longbowmen. I don't highly recommend them at all. They're probably a little bit more of an advanced unit, as well as I believe there are better archers out there for 240 leadership. But these Crossbowmen are the best, if not second best, ranged unit there are in this game. They are extremely powerful, extremely strong with the great doctrines, but they are a gold unit that costs 325 leadership, and I'll go over how to unlock them in a second. You do not want to unlock them using your honor. And honor can be achieved throughout battling every single week. And as you get increased points, you can spend certain points to unlock farther down the train. Fusiliers, Creekfits, they are by far the best riflemen in my opinion for the leadership costs. They're 265, and they're the accurate unit as well as great damage. The other unit they have is the Imperial Arquebusiers. They're 270 leadership. The only thing really good about this unit is they have a volley fire, where they fire at a very high rate, but they're not very accurate and they don't do the greatest damage. I would always highly recommend the Creekfits over the Imperial Arquebusiers. A lot of people do like the Tercio Arquebusiers. They are a great unit. I just think their leadership cost is way too high. I wouldn't recommend it personally, but if that fits your playstyle, definitely do that. For cavalry, always winged hussars are the best unit in the game, I think, overall for the charging cavalry. They're the best in order to be able to just clear through a line and clear everybody out in front of them. They're a wonderful unit. I would highly recommend unlocking these first and using your gold achievement after you get through all your F4 quests to unlock them. Next is going to be the Spear Sergeants and Men-at-Arms. That's going to come later on. I'll talk about challenges in the season pass in order to be best for them. Mystic Knights are also a very good cavalry. They're more of a tank cavalry, super slow, but super tanky, but they are a very good unit. Me personally, not a fan of any of the Rattans. Some people do say the Rattan marksmen, they fire quite fast. Not a fan of them personally. There's better archers for their cost. As well as Rattan Rangers or Crossbowmen cavalry. Not a fan. They are good for field battles, but there's better cavalry out there. Alright, the next thing I'm going to cover is the seasonal units. This is by far the most important part of this game, as well as the best units there are in this game. By far, the best archers, or second best, like I was talking about with the Namekins, is going to be the Namekins. These units have a bleed effect that will absolutely irritate the living hell out of anybody they fight against. For 180 leadership, I don't believe any other unit can beat them in the ranged category. They are amazing, amazing units, and they're the very first tree to unlock in Season 2. Season 3, Kanadore Guards are amazing blue infantry. They cost 170 leadership, and they're basically just down in the dirt, get nice and dirty for you without that much leadership cost. They're a great unit. Forward ratio Pikemen, amazing against cavalry, amazing defensive unit. They can hold, they have the longest range spears in the game, and as long as you can keep people outside of your spears, they will tear through anybody that tries to get through them. Falconetti Gunners, great unit. They're the ranged cannons. Basically, if you see a bunch of cannonballs flying through the air at the time, that would be these guys. And they absolutely will decimate anything close range and far range, but they are very squishy, and almost anybody will always suicide for this unit if they see them. These Crossbowmen, they're the gold infantry, gold range units, and they are by far the best for the most leadership. But like I said, Namekins are the best for the lower leadership levels. They will stop infantry, they will stop everything. They're an amazing unit. Janissaries, they're great musketmen. They're a little slow to fire, a little blunt, but they do have a lot of accurate shots and they do a lot of damage. It's a very good unit. The Azaps are going to be the counters. They're the ones that you have a lot of skill to use, and you basically counter anybody that's trying to attack you. They have any type of ability. They have a counterattack ability where they're able to use their shields, dodge it, get inside, and get a lot of damage down. But they're a little bit squishy. They're basically just like a glass cannon that will destroy. Sildars, they're a very, very aggressive unit that will absolutely demolish anybody in front of them almost. But they are very expensive with their leadership costs, and I do not recommend using this unit. There are other better units for their cost. The most highly recommended units I could say in this game, what you need to unlock, are Stalwarts and Paladins. Stalwarts are the defensive unit that have a brace formation that's almost unstoppable if you know how to use it well, and they are the best unit by far for their leadership costs when it comes to sieges, in my opinion. These are by far the star units in this game. Next are going to be Paladins. They're the aggressive units. They're more of the pusher. They're more of the charge unit. They're the ones that are going to fight like crazy, but they also have a heal ability that helps heal friendlies in the area. They're overall a great unit. I've personally never found a good use for them. The Flaming units, I'm not going to even try and pronounce that name. They're an amazing unit. There's very high leadership, as well as the cost of them is quite high with a lot of challenges that need to be completed. Landshanks, amazing units. They're a glass cannon. They got this charge to wipe out almost everything in front of them, as well as their 3 abilities of bleed and slow. Lots of damage, will destroy units, will destroy players, just super squishy. Armor Gear Lancers, by far my favorite unit in this game. I've adapted really well to playing with them. And they're basically a flanking, full-on cover commander. They swarm you like a beehive and kill everything in their area. Absolutely amazing unit. Highly, highly, highly recommend unlocking the Armor Gear Lancers. And what was the most powerful unit last season? Still yet to find its place in this new meta this season, but the Liao's Rangers. These units will come in and devastate anything in their area. If there's nothing to stop them, they will wipe through everything like it's absolutely nothing. They have a shotgun basically on their muzzle, as well as a blunt mace that will destroy you. If you see them and you don't have any anti-cav, just run. Just get out of their way, because there's no competition to beat them. And this brings us to the new season, Season 7. Sons of Fenrir, wouldn't recommend using them. From everything I've seen, they're a useless unit. Don't even go for it. Berserkers, yet to unlock. Hopefully they have an opportunity. Hopefully they make something great with this new season. I'm really looking forward to being able to play with these guys shortly. Shield Maidens, not too sure about. I've been told they're beginning of buff, but I'm not too sure about it, recommending that unit yet. But those are the different types of seasonal units, and what type they are and what they do. And I hope that helps. Like I said, unlock the Paladins, Stalwarts first. Get these units. I promise you it will help you. Promise it will help you get there where you need to be. Namekins archers as well. Always recommend with those 3 units, you can bring them all in for 700 leadership, and you'll be able to progress quickly. Paladins, Stalwarts, Namekins. Alright folks, hope this was helpful. How to unlock each season. Basically, you can go through, you're going to see the different progressions. You have to start out at the bottom. Start with the Landshanks. After the quest to go through to get to a certain point, once you get to past the second point here, you'll see that you get a free unit, and that's going to be that Landshanks unlocked for you. Next will be the Armor Gears. Go through, same thing. Then you get to like the last unit. This season, you're going to see the different challenges. Different challenges can be anything from different siege battles, different expeditions, using trebuchets, getting points on things. And once you've completed the allotted amount needed, you'll be able to get to that next step in the process. So as you can solve, the Landshanks start out with 2. In order to start the Liaos, you have to have 4 different stages. And if you ever get too tired or you don't want to fill it out, or what I always do, is I do as many as I can, and then if I really want the unit, I'll spend a couple bucks and use my currency in order to be able to buy the rest of it off. So for example, last stage of the mall only needs the 50% more. It would cost me 280, my apologies, in order to be able to unlock the rest of the stages to completely unlock everything for the mall. Kanadore Guards, completely unlocked. For the British Pikemen, I need 7 out of 8. So even though there's more I could have choose from, it's only going to cost me 20, because all I have to do is do an expedition. But why not do that instead of spending the extra money on it? And that'll get me to the next stage, and that's where I'll unlock the unit.